Everyone likes different things. For example, I'm partial to a Parma Violet or two, but I feel like I am in the vast minority. PC gaming preferences are the same, but on that bombshell, I've still decided to make a video featuring my top 10 PC games of all time. I've dug through the XCOMs, the Half-Lifes, the Peggles to find my top 10 PC games ever. The rule for this was to use one game per franchise, but apart from that, any PC-compatible game is acceptable. Are you ready? Let's get started. Parma Violet, anyone? No? No, just me? Just me? Alright. At number 10, I've gone for Mass Effect 2. Developed by BioWare and released in 2010, this was the pinnacle of the Mass Effect series, and the greatest space game I've ever played. The awful inventory system from the first game was gone, and the whole experience felt much more streamlined. The combat was meaty and the conversations were just brilliant. I have never cared so much about a ragtag group of space heroes in my whole life. The ending was also superb, and Mass Effect 2 is well worth the 10th spot. The only slight problem with this game was that through a thoroughly unpleasant turn of events, Miranda and Jack both hated me, so I had to make do with Tali. Blech. Civilization 4 is number 9 in my top 10 PC games of all time. Released in 2005, this game sucked up far more time than I'm willing to admit. Civ 4 is a turn-based strategy game that is much more exciting than it sounds, with campaigns sprawling thousands of years. You develop your civilization to a sprawling behemoth of cultural beauty, military destruction, or anything in between. Gandhi was always a bastard to me, but it didn't matter, I kept coming back and playing again. In fact, the superb DLC like Beyond the Sword was some of the best expansions we've seen in a strategy game ever. Overall, Civ 4 is 9 in my top 10 PC games of all time. Lego Island proudly holds 8th spot in my top 10 PC games of all time. Now this one is a bit of a curveball, but released in 1997 it consumed 7-year-old Jimmy like nothing before. The graphics were top notch for the time and are still decent today, but it was the characters that really made this game. The random events were just so, well, random, but also very, very funny. Add to this the fact that the island was huge and so fun to explore via skateboard, car or even helicopter, and that there was so much to do, and Lego Island really was the full package. For the nostalgia and the fun, Lego Island is 8th in my top 10 PC games of all time. They just don't make games like this anymore. Ah, Skyrim, you destroyer of freedom, you smiter of spare time, how I love you. Released in 2011, even if it feels like yesterday, this is the best of the Elder Scrolls series so far, and offered a phenomenal world to explore. Add into this the mod support this game gets from devoted fans, and you have a game that can be customised in almost limitless ways to increase replayability. There is a reason that people get sucked into worlds like Skyrim, and we've got to give credit to Todd Howard and company for building such compelling universes. For the size of the world and the amount there is to do in it, Skyrim gets to number 7 on my favourite PC games of all time. At number 6 we have Black and White. Another old school one. This was released in 2001. It blew my mind. Peter Molyneux had done it. The balding rapscallion had created a god game that actually made you feel like a powerful god. You could shape the landscape, help your villagers or destroy them, and it was all immense fun. There was also a huge pet to develop and train. I chose the cow, making this a game with scope and vision that I'd never seen before. The original Black and White just beat Black and White 2 onto this list as it just feels more original and definitive. Black and White makes it to number 6 on my top 10 PC games of all time. Now, if you've watched my top 10 PC games of 2013 video, link in the description, you'll know I was very excited for this game. Well, when Bioshock Infinite finally released in March 2013, it did not disappoint. There had never been a story like it so far in the history of gaming, and while the combat was occasionally cumbersome, I challenge you to find me a more thought-provoking tale from gaming than Bioshock Infinite. Seriously, write in the comments if you know of any game that does this better. The world also made this game phenomenal. It was a teeming, thriving, brightly coloured wonderland, and felt fantastic to explore when not in combat. For blowing my mind all over my monitor, Bioshock Infinite proudly takes number 5 in the list of the top 10 PC games of all time. The original and the best. The Sims was released by Maxis, as Busted predicted, in the year 2000. Controlling a family like this had simply never been done before. I remember the first time I played it, I spent an hour just putting furniture in my house. This live sim was so immersive. Who could forget the lovable goths? Monty, you old rogue. Yes, The Sims 2 and 3 added a lot more features and improved the graphics, but it was the original that really got me and kept me hooked. And for that reason, I put it at number 4. And of course, The Sims spawned a whole new sport. Sim killing. We all did it, we're all ashamed, let's just move on. The Sims gets to number 4. Soot soot! Rollercoaster Tycoon 2 screams onto the list at number 3. This game was released in 2002 and it changed my life. Seriously, I spent several years wanting to be a theme park manager because of Chris Sawyer and his amazing creation. Rollercoaster Tycoon 2 allowed you to build the park of your dreams. You placed the rides, the shops, the scenery, the paths, you managed staff and finances and generally tried to keep your park from drowning in a sea of puke. The guests in Rollercoaster Tycoon 2 just love to throw up. But that's all part of the fun. The music, the colourful graphics and the challenging difficulty made this one addictive game. Rollercoaster Tycoon 2 just pips the original due to the huge amount of features and rides that were added to it, and proudly sits at number 3 in my top 10 PC games of all time. War never changes. Fallout 3 was mind-blowing to me when it was released in 2008. A whole state to explore in the most amazing setting. This was post-apocalyptic survival at its very best. I tried Fallout 1 and 2 and just couldn't get into them, but Fallout 3 changed my whole perception of this series. The VAT system was great, the perks were fun, and the quests were diverse. This was a world that felt real, and one that I would love to experience in a twisted way, albeit briefly. Fallout 3 kept me hooked and kept being fun for me from the moment of being born, in the game of course, to the moment I finally made it to the end of the ride. Bethesda's Fallout 3 is at number 2 in my top 10 PC games of all time. So that was the top 9 games of my top 10 PC games of all time, but which is number 1? At number 1 we have Minecraft. Minecraft, the indie sensation. This created a whole new genre, reinvented the voxel art style and changed everyone's perception of what is possible in gaming. Everyone that tries this game is skeptical. They say it looks old-fashioned, boring and shallow. Nothing could be further from the truth. You can quite literally create anything in this game, but for me it was the exploring and surviving in a small wooden hut that I enjoyed most. I've never forgotten my first night hiding in a pitch black hole listening with fear to creatures groaning and squeaking outside. The music, the art, the replayability are all superb, and the enemies such as the Creeper are now iconic. Just talking about this game makes me want to play it again. There is so much to do and see, and of course with all the available mods on PC, the fun never has to end. Minecraft, proudly and deservedly, is my top PC game of all time. Thank you very much for watching my top 10 PC games of all time. I hope you enjoyed. If anyone disagrees, which I'm sure you will, please let me know in the comments, or a video response would be great. I'd love to hear what your top 10 PC games of all time are. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and please subscribe to my channel for more fantastic content. Love you very much. Thank you.